We're also now following breaking news out of the nation's capital. The Supreme Court now has ruled that individual judges lack the authority to grant nationwide injunctions. The outcome that happened today was a victory for the Trump administration, who has now complained about individual judges throwing up obstacles to his agenda. So we also spoke with Chief Legal Analyst Clive Rhodes on today's case. Here's what he had to say.
An inferior court judge doesn't have the ability to make and do a nationwide injunction specifically for a case that affects the nation, then it will be problematic, and it undercuts any type of social, civil rights, justice, civil rights movements that have happened in the past. The typical approach is if the president or the legislature creates a law, or the president does some executive order that affects nationwide and has nationwide implications, you run the court and get some type of injunction to stop that from occurring. And you don't want it to just happen in Mecklenburg County. You want to make sure that it stops it for the whole entire country, because the president wasn't just talking to that one county, he was talking to the country. That's the rationale.
So today's ruling comes as the Supreme Court wraps up its term, releasing the last of its decisions on multiple major cases. Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley reports this afternoon. It also includes a decision involving birthright citizenship, which President Donald Trump has tried to end.
The birthright citizenship case was the biggest case the court had yet to rule on, but when you look at the details of what was involved in the complaint, it centered more on the power of lower-level federal courts to make nationwide injunctions. In the birthright case, the issue was about the ability of lower-level federal courts to issue nationwide injunctions, specifically allowing one court to put a countrywide hold on President Donald Trump's order to end birthright citizenship. Today, the court ruled 6-3 to partially stay the injunctions from district courts, ruling courts issuing nationwide injunctions likely exceeded the authority granted to them by Congress. The Supreme Court made it clear it was not ruling on whether President Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship was constitutional, but instructed district courts to make sure injunctions conform to today's ruling. Essentially, the ruling allows for challenges to birthright citizenship to continue in states or districts that have sued to end it. Also, the court this morning ruled 6-3 against a small business that had sued the Department of Health and Human Services, saying that it should not have to cover certain kinds of preventive health care, including drugs used to prevent HIV infections. The complaint centered on a technicality that a government preventative health task force under the Affordable Care Act was appointed unconstitutionally. The court disagreed with that small business, ruling against them, meaning for now companies must continue to cover insurance costs for a range of preventive health care measures, including cancer screenings, reproductive health care, and HIV prevention medications.
Trevor Shirley reporting for us this afternoon. All right, staying in the nation's capital right now, today the Supreme Court also ruled to uphold the fee that subsidizes phone and internet services in schools, libraries, and rural areas. So the Supreme Court is also upholding a Texas law aimed at blocking kids from seeing pornography online. The High Court has also sided with Maryland parents who have religious objections. They ruled they can pull their children from public school lessons using LGBTQ storybooks. Chief Legal Analyst Clive Rhodes also weighed in on the nature of that case,
saying that, listen, because I have a genuinely held religious belief, and I've talked about this a number of times here in the past, that the religion doesn't have to be an established religion. It can be a religion that you made up, as long as you genuinely believe that this religion is something that you hold dear and near and that you follow. And as long as you follow in one of your practices, hey, I don't want my kids engaging in or participating in LGBTQ material, then now, and it's based on my religion, I have a constitutional right to not be able to have them involved in that.
And we will continue to follow these rulings as the Supreme Court continues to conclude today's case. For more information, though, you can visit our website at qcnews.com.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.